All right.
We're live.
Yeah, doing something different this week, starting off with a video, and that was a band called Trampa from Brazil. I'm Darryl.
I'm Cam.
And this is Weekly Music Report, and we're from the Indie Week offices downtown Toronto.
Yes, sir.
So every week we do this. We talk about what's going on locally in the music scene, other things going on, and stuff we're up to.
Yeah.
News, shows, videos, all that good stuff. Want to say thanks to Indie Week sponsors, Jack Daniels, Hop City, and Slate Music. We wouldn't be able to do this without them.
Yes.
So please, if you're out and about, support those brands.
Yes.
Cool.
And of course, it's Thursday. It means it's game day as well. So good luck to Arsenal at 4 o'clock. Congrats to the TFC for getting through the semifinals of the CONCACAF Champions League with a great game over Tigres.
I don't understand this because I was on Twitter and they lost.
They lost, but they won on away goals.
What?
They won on away goals. It's probably the hardest thing to explain to someone in a two-leg soccer match internationally.
I'm like, they lost.
They lost the game, but they won the aggregate because they scored more goals on the road than they did at home, and it means more to score in your opponent's
Is that kind of like getting a medal in high school? For
participation? No, not at all.
But they lost. I don't get it.
They lost, but it was a two-game. It was a home and away, and the tiebreaker, the first tiebreaker, is away goals because it's so much harder to score in someone else's stadium.
It's almost worse than a shootout to me.
Well, it's better. Well, yeah, I don't like shootouts. You'll get that in World Cup, so you'll go to penalties there. So
I know, but it's weird. They lost, but
they won one, they lost one, and the tiebreaker is away goals. So
all right.
It's important. So it's a big game for Arsenal against AC Milan as well. So they don't want them to score, and they'll go through the next round of Europe.
Still don't get it.
Yeah, well.
That's okay. Still okay. All right. So after we talk about stuff we did last week, and I'll let you start off.
Okay. Last week I went out to the Paddock on Saturday night for the Hop City and Uptrack Media presents Sam Drysdale, Johnny Starks, Flight 97, and Young Honey. Good show. Interesting. I'll tell you a little story about two bands. I don't want to name either of the bands. I'm not trying to put anyone down because I never do. But one band, not that I'm the keeper of the gate by any means, and it wasn't necessarily our show, but we talked about, we were going to go see these bands and stuff. So one band befriended me on socials. One band came up to me that night, gave me their CD, gave me a sticker, talked to me after the set, kept saying who they were on stage, and it's really important to engage with people and, people who maybe can help your career or just fans in general. One band did a great job at it, which I was really impressed by. So.
And who was it?
It was Flight 97 from Barrie. They came all the way down, and I just thought they did a great job of introducing, walk up to me in the bar, are you Cam? Yeah, we saw you in the chat last week, and would you like our CD? And hope you stick around and see us play and stuff like that. So it was really good. And Johnny Starks was great as always. We've seen Johnny lots of times in the past. Great to see Sam Drysdale, and I liked Young Honey as well, so it was a good night of music.
Excellent.
And you did a Hop City thing. I think you went on a little bar crawl.
Yeah, Friday night I hit up Hideout. I had missed the bout. I was trying to catch the last little bit of that. And then from there I went down to Cherry Cola's, saw the last part of their Hop City night, talked to Cherish, which was always cool. And then from there I made a quick stop at the Bovine. And pretty much I missed all the bands kind of as I was going. It was one of those nights where it's like you catch the last band's last song. And but it was good. It's good to be out and check out all the bars. And overall it's pretty decent crowds at each one. So kudos for going out and supporting independent music.
Yeah, it's still pretty damn cold here in Toronto, so not as bad as it is with the nor'easters on the East Coast, but it's not shorts and spring-like weather yet here. So
yeah, exactly. So shows coming up, I guess.
Shows coming up. I know that, speaking of Hop City, they're going to be sponsoring a tour by Fallen Airs, which is really cool as well. So shows that are coming up. We have so many notes here tonight, obviously. We are live, as we are every third Thursday of the month, at the Ballroom. Tonight we have Tree Museum, Blackwood, and Susie Corey.
Right.
Doors at 9, bands start at 10.
It's free.
It's free.
Come out and support independent artists. This is a night that you know, the venue and the sponsors are really trying to push independent music, and the only way that'll happen is if people come out. So come out. It's free. Bands get paid. It's awesome, and I'd like to see this grow because then we can do more of it.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to book the next 3 months worth of shows.
So. So you can get in touch with us on our socials, on Facebook, Instagram,
No,
Twitter.
come to the show.
Come to the show. There you go.
Screw all that other crap. And speaking of which, that's a good thing. Like socials, I'm getting hit up way too much of bands that I don't know going, hi, here's all of our stuff. I'm not looking for it on socials. The best way to get in touch is email. And what it actually does is slow me down on getting to the important messages that I actually have going on. And really, you should never, unsolicited, send material to anybody. You should make like just an initial message and contact first and get a communication stream going, and then ask, is it okay if I send you stuff? And if so, what's the best way? Usually, if people just go, here's my stuff, you don't know me, I hit delete because it's not the right way, and I already have a lot going on with the people who are sending it to me in the proper way. So best thing to do, contact people and ask if it's okay to send stuff.
I agree. Like, I'll get stuff on Twitter. Hey, will you listen to my music? It's just like, okay, who are you? And, you know, time is money.
Way too much. And I'm getting hit up on WhatsApp, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and I'm trying to just use email. That's the best way.
All right.
So,
more shows. Justin Timberlake is kicking off his world tour. I think it started last night, and his new line of running shoes at Nike. So he'll be at the ACC tonight. So when that's done, you can always just walk right up the street to the Ballroom Bowl, because I'm sure that'll be over at 11 o'clock.
Yep.
A friend of ours, Jonny Coull from Montreal, who was in Road to Indie Week Montreal last year. He's doing an acoustic set at Free Times Cafe tonight, and those shows are usually early. So after that, Jonny, after your show, come on down and say hi. We haven't seen you since Indie Week, so that'd be great.
All right, and then you've...
Saturday night, St. Paddy's Day, rookie night in Canada outside of New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
But a great show presented by our friends 94.9 The Rock in Oshawa. It's the Standstills and Crownlands at the Music Hall Theatre.
Both great bands.
4 people, 2 bands.
I know. Well, it's a sign of the times.
Yes.
We've talked about that in previous videos.
Yeah.
But and Crownlands, totally dig these guys. Really young band, but are doing some great stuff. Playing some great shows. I know they were doing some co-writing recently, and this is a band I'd say to watch for this year. Yeah. See where they are by fall. I think they're going to do great.
Yeah, and I love the Standstills as well. Big fans of theirs, and they're on E1, and they've got a new record coming out, so congratulations to them.
Right.
And I went to one of these a couple weeks ago at the Roland Inspiration Center on King Street West near Dufferin. There's one next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. You can go to Roland Inspiration or on their Facebook page. It's Bill King, who's a great piano player. And you sit around the Roland space, and it'll be very intimate, and he will teach you the art of improvisation on a piano. And he is one of Canada's best piano players. And it's a free service that Roland offers, and you should really check it out, because you're not going to get a better teacher than Bill King.
And what day is that?
That's next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The one thing we haven't mentioned yet, but we always do.
Yes.
Indie Week, we're a festival in Toronto and Manchester. Manchester is in October, Toronto is in November. You can go to the websites. Right now, applications are open for artists if you're interested. Canada.indieweek.com/apply. All the info is there. And then do the same, but UK. So uk.indieweek.com/apply. And if you're an independent artist, this is a great festival to sort of get your introduction to the Canadian market and North American market, but also we have a lot of focus on international delegates coming in this year. So it's going to be pretty awesome. I just had a really cool Skype call with some contacts in South America that we're working on.
You made a lot of new friends down there last year.
A lot of great friends, yeah, absolutely. And I guess we should be able to announce this now, too, is you saw the video at the start, was a Brazilian act called Trampa. Trampa is coming back in May, performing at Canadian Music Week, and we're going to have dates with Trampa around Ontario for the full month of May. So check out canada.indieweek.com. There's going to be more info there, and we're going to be posting dates on our Facebook. So, and believe tickets are going to go on sale next Thursday. Trampa is a band that we've had at Indie Week for last 2 years. They're kind of like a Rage Against the Machine heaviness.
Mm-hmm. They're very heavy.
Very heavy, but rock. Great energy. The one thing to note is they are singing in English. They've got, this time around, they've been working on English material. But check them out. They're going to be at Canadian Music Week, and then dates all around Ontario in May. So, going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
And speaking of music conferences, hello to all of our friends at South by Southwest right now. We've got a lot of our Indie Week alumni playing down there.
Yeah.
A lot of our industry friends are down there. Some of them are staying at the Castle right now. You know who you are.
Yeah, I saw Dearly Beloved. They're down there right now.
Yeah.
Performing some shows. Martin Atkins, he did his talk today. He spoke at Indie Week last year.
Foreign Resort are playing.
Right. Jennifer's down there.
Yeah.
From Mobius.
Yeah, with Foreign Resort.
Yep. They did a showcase at Indie Week last year as well. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. I was supposed to be there, but...
Yeah, there's Canada House and Canada Blast that are presented by SEMA and the Provincial Music Organization. So,
right.
Shout out to all of our friends down at South by.
Yeah, and truthfully, if you're an artist, you should be down there.
Yeah.
You should be down there. Even if you're not playing, you should go and network.
Mm-hmm.
So... and then
I was just going to speak, just industry passing last week, or this week, I guess, was Paul White, who probably no young musicians would know who he is or was, but he was the first A&R guy in Canada, basically. Started at Capitol Records in 1957, ran their A&R department, and one of the functions of A&R back then, and still somewhat to this day, is you not only sign new bands, if you're working for a multinational, you get releases from around the world from your label affiliates, and you decide whether to put them out or not in your territory. And when Capitol, I guess, passed on the Beatles in the States, their first couple of releases, Paul had the foresight to be putting Beatle records out in Canada on Capitol EMI before the Americans did. So then he went on to sign Anne Murray. He also put together an amazing box set called Made in Canada, which is a 4 CD set, which is really hard to find nowadays, of the history of Canadian rock and roll going back to the 50s. So he was a legend into the industry. I never had the pleasure to work for the gentleman, but a lot of my friends did. So tip of the A&R hat to Paul White and his career. So
right.
Making the news this week, and we'll make it our video of the week as well, I guess, is Taylor Swift and Delicate. Her new video, which is pretty interesting, but there's a lot of controversy because it looks exactly like a Kenza commercial that Spike Jonze did a couple years back. Great video director Spike Jonze.
Yeah, we just took a look at it, and it's, definitely a copy.
We'll post it on our website, and you can draw your own comparisons and stuff. But
yeah, and I want to do a quick shout out to also, we talk about them almost every week, but Sumo Cyco just started their headline UK tour right now. I had a good talk with Matt last week, and very impressive. We took them to Ireland, which opened the doors for them to get to Europe. That was their first time there. They booked a few dates in UK after our festival in Ireland, and off of that, they've been able to go back, and now they're headlining UK.
Unbelievable.
It's great, and I think like around 300 to 500 capacity sizes, and they're selling tickets, like they're selling out in certain places. Very impressive. Like, if you're an independent band, you should really look at Sumo Cyco. Like, their work ethic is unbelievable. Plus, they just announced when they get back from the UK, they go to the States, and basically end of April all the way through June, they're going to be touring US. So, hardworking band. Bands that are looking to kind of like get to the next level, you got to be a touring act. Mm-hmm. You have to hit the road. You're going to lose money the first 2 tours, probably. It'll probably be the third tour that you'll break even, but that's the kind of sacrifice that you got to do. And one thing you'll learn is that, all of a sudden you've got 10 cities then the next time around maybe 15, maybe up to 20, up to 30 cities that you've built a fan base in. And when you release a next CD, you've got people buying it in all those areas. And you have to go on the road. That's just what it is. And Sumo Cyco, they kill it.
And they also do a great job on social media and engage their fans, and they're just constantly giving them information about when they're coming, what's coming out, new shirts, new videos, new tours. They are all over it. So.
Yeah, they've got great merch too. So, and that's the other thing is you build that fan base so that when you release merch online, you also are starting to sell it in all these different territories. So, just really quick math is if you can get up to where you're making $500 a night and you do 10 shows, that's $5,000. But if you're able to double that, where you're making $1,000 a night, it's actually where going on the road is how you're going to make your living at being a musician. Mm-hmm. And, if you get to the point where you're doing 100 shows a year and you're making $1,000 a night, that's $100,000. Say it costs you $50,000 to do that, but you're still holding $50,000 at the end of it. It's going to take, I think it's usually about 3 tours to get to break-even point, and then profit is usually after that.
Yeah, and it makes the difference of one hotel room or two, or a station wagon or a van or a bus or a trailer.
Yep.
The more you can sell, the more you reinvest into your tour, the more you're ultimately going to make as well. So.
Yep. And I just see bands not hit the road, and they're all worried about money, and I get it, but that's a business investment, and it's just like opening a restaurant. You have to pay first.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. Anyways,
there you go.
There's a spiel.
Every week, I read a new book. This one has to go back to the library today, so I'm glad I finished it because it's really long. It's Shock and Awe, Simon Reynolds, which is sort of the history.
This thing is like an encyclopedia side. Like, this is huge.
It's almost 700 pages.
It's almost 700 pages.
Yeah.
You're insane.
Interesting book. Actually, had a great discussion late morning at the Bovine with DJ Vanya about the book because he had just read it as well. It's a hard book to describe because how do you describe glitter and glam rock? It was a scene, out of England in the early 70s with David Bowie for pretty well 3 short years. Bowie was glam. That was it.
Yeah.
Post-folky into glam, into, Plastic Soul and everything else. Gary Glitter's in it, the Sweeter in it. There's a lot of Lady Gaga at the end of it and Keisha and stuff, which I think he sort of went off the rails on the Aftershocks.
Okay.
So it wasn't a bad book. Very British. What is glam? What was glitter? Was Elton? He really doesn't mention Elton John that much, but over here Elton John was considered glitter, where over in the UK Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel were glitter. So
right.
It's an interesting historical read about the British scene basically in the 70s, and I gave it a 7. Vanya gave it a 6.5. But it's a long one. It's a heavy one on the streetcar.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I always say, keep reading and learn your history and learn about Paul White and learn about the record industry and learn about bands that went before you and where their inspiration came from. So
cool.
Yeah.
What are we leaving off with today?
Well, hopefully we're leaving off having a beer with you tonight at the Ballroom.
Yes.
In a perfect world.
And Ron says, Elton Glitter, gay maybe.
Well, no need for that, but around the time I was at Maple Leaf Gardens when he played Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and it was a very glammy and glittery sort of, that'll be my throwback, I guess, seeing that tour, because now the new tour is Farewell to Yellow Brick Road, so he's taking it full cycle. But I was there at Maple Leaf Gardens when he brought that tour to town, and it was pretty incredible, which I'll have to throw up the ticket stub on.
Yeah, that reminds me, it is Thursday, which is a throwback day. I posted a photo on my Instagram and get some good comments and stuff, so check me out on Instagram. It's just simply Instagram, Darryl Hurs. But I put up a photo of where I played at the Canadian Embassy in Tokyo. And, I was trying to sort of leave with telling artists some tips and tricks and things like that. And we just talked about touring. Well, this is a case where a lot of people don't know that there's actual funding through the Canadian embassies and the local consulates we were able to get funding from the embassy in Tokyo to put on this sort of, it was kind of an art project. It was basically, the group I was in was all improv. Grant was the one sort of spearheading it. He moved to Tokyo, and he put together this whole production where we played improv with Japanese artists, and they did not speak English, so the only way we could communicate is really through music. We had videographers, one from Canada, one from Tokyo, also improving video.
Wow.
And then we had Japanese dancers in front of us doing improv dance to this improv music. So it was a whole cultural exchange. And, you know, we talked about touring and about money, but one of the things you could do is if you're going to another country, get in touch with the local consulate and see if there's something that you can do while you are there. A lot of what the consulate's business is to help generate business for Canadian businesses that are potentially in that territory. So in Tokyo, Canadian businesses that are located there, and putting on an event where they can invite these businesses, but then also invite other potential buyers or clients that may do networking and new business. And so anyways, that is a way to potentially get some funding, is if you're going to another country, get in touch with the consulate, get in touch with the embassy, and look for their cultural and arts ambassador or consulates, right? And there's potential money there. You know, like when I went to South America, there was an afternoon where it was meet the Canadians and meet the Australians, where Australian and Canadian embassies or consulates got together and put on this event, and they invited all these local businesses to meet us and get potential new business going. So
the government can be your friend. You know, like I know the consulate does parties in LA around the Oscars, and if the Grammys are in LA, invite all the Canadian artists down, and they get to meet international people, and it helps everyone's business.
It's all about growing business through arts and culture.
Yes.
And there's some comments going on here. Okay. Ron also says Elton John felt like Liberace, which was great. And I don't actually think anyone thought Elton was gay or straight. Never came up. And Ian commented about the photo I posted.
Well, there you go.
And Ron, yes, we all miss Bowie too. Bowie was amazing.
Yeah, and the last album was just, Black Star was one of his career best. And I talked about the Bowie book by Dylan Jones last week, and it's a fantastic read.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Bowie was a great artist that broke boundaries and went outside the box. He did what he wanted for the most part, I felt. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously there's going to be some industry influence here and there, but I thought he really was a, almost trendsetter. Like Glass Spider Tour was unreal.
Awful. Awful. The worst Bowie tour.
Well, but at the time it was such a spectacle.
Yeah.
And I think
no question.
That part, it was really groundbreaking. Like he had dancers, he had the spider, everything. You know, I'm a big U2 fan, and I think that they take a lot from him.
No question. It's pretty hard to translate a show when there's 60 to 80,000 people, and Bowie did it with the Glass Spider Tour.
Yeah.
Whereas opposed to the Station to Station Tour, where Maple Leaf Gardens, the lights were still on, there was nothing on stage, and you just started hearing music, and the house lights were still on, and the band just sort of walked on stage, started playing, and then Bowie walked on stage, house lights on, which was a total, like the antithesis of the Glass Spider Tour and done 10 years earlier. So he just always kept changing.
Yeah, well, I saw Sound and Vision Tour, and that part he mostly played acoustic.
Yeah.
And I believe that was also the tour where he's got was saying, this is the last time I'll play these hits.
A lot of these songs, yeah. And It was like the first time I heard him play All the Young Dudes, which he wrote from At the Hoople. And he rarely did that live. And that was to coincide with the Ryko disc box set, if you can find that one, Sound and Vision, 4 CD set that came out years ago. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I felt very lucky to see that tour. That was a great one. And then I believe after that he started Tin Machine.
Yeah.
Which we talked about last week.
Tin Machine.
Yeah, Tin Machine. Reeves Gabrels was the guitarist. And
Hunt and Tony Sales, the Sales Brothers. Come on,
Yeah.
played with Iggy and the Idiot. And Life.
Reeves Gabrels was one of the first shows I saw in Toronto. Yvonne booked it.
Yes, very good
Yvonne
friend of
Metzel
Reeves.
booked it. And it was at probably X-Rays, or what was the other bar there?
She might have been. It might have been at Ted's Wrecking Yard, or
No, it's X-Ray.
Ultrasound.
Like there was ultrasound.
Ultrasound.
Yeah. And it was like January, and it was like minus 30 outside, and it's like I think 20 people there
Yeah.
because it was freezing and it was a blizzard, and I think it was probably 200 decibels inside that small room. My ears hurt so much for about 2 weeks after it, but it was a pretty cool thing to see.
And last time he was in town was 2 summers ago at Festival down at Woodbine Park. He was playing with The Cure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
From
Very
Bowie
cool.
to Cure.
Lots of rock and roll history today.
We could go on forever, probably.
We could, but you know.
Yeah. So, anyways, tonight at the Ballroom, we're putting on a free indie show. It's the third Thursday of every month. Artists get paid, but we need your support. Come on out. And I noticed Susie's had a comment earlier. She's playing tonight at midnight.
She's probably on a plane right now coming back from LA.
Maybe. Well, she commented on our video just moments ago.
Oh,
so,
cool.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight. Come on out, and we'll see you again next Thursday.
Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you tonight.
Cheers.
Bye.